Welcome, gentlemen, to the Loose Dads podcast.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Loose Dads from Dadsnet. I'm Jim. Hope that you're enjoying the show, or you do enjoy the show. It's only just started, but to be honest, sometimes the first bit of it, the intro,
it's the best.
It's the best bit.
It's a downward decline.
It goes downhill from there, really, to be perfectly honest. Before we do the quick introduction, and in fact, let's do the introduction, and then we'll say why it's probably likely to go into decline very soon. So we start off on the week where there's a shortage of Frosties. I don't know if anyone knew about this. There is a shortage of Frosties in this country. So I thought I'd introduce the panel in the breakfast foods that they would be.
Has anyone checked on Tony the Tiger? Sorry, Jim. Is Tony all right?
Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's one of these people who's not seeking work because he's sick. There's apparently a record number. Maybe Tony the Tiger has got some kind of debilitating tiger disease.
Hold on. This just in. He's great. There you go.
Oh, that's all right. Hey. So the panel is breakfast foods. Brad would be Maltabella. Do we know why that is?
Yes, dude. Maltabella's the best.
Is it, though? Because it's, in my research, malted porridge, which, to be honest, sounds grim.
Nah.
Oh, honestly, it is. Chocolate Maltabella is the nuts.
It's obviously a South African breakfast delicacy for our South African panel member.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's great. That and another one was which is Pronutro, which is kind of similar-ish.
Sounds equally as appetizing.
I think Pronutro. I think the equivalent over here of Pronutro, I've yet to try it out, is Ready Break.
Oh, okay, nice. Did it have a classic advert where you got a force field of glowingness around you, like the old adverts for Ready Break here? That was a good one.
Classic.
No,
it's where the advert was better than the product. That's what that was. Sparky probably be less happy about this. He'd be Lucky Charms because he's a little leprechaun. Leprechaun, isn't he?
But I am magically delicious, if I remember. That's Nestle Lucky Charms. Come on.
Always trying to get his Lucky Charms.
Get away from me, Lucky Charms. Who are you, Jim? What are you? Come on, I want to know what yours. Bran flakes.
Because I'm in Yorkshire, so I'd be lard on toast, wouldn't I?
A delicacy.
That actually sounds quite nice.
Lard on toast.
Yeah, like is it like lard is fat, right?
Yeah,
like bacon fat is delicious.
Well, you know what, Brad? Maybe you're a Yorkshireman in another life. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
And I love Yorkshire tea.
There you go. You've qualified.
I'm an honorary Yorkshireman.
Sorry, some stuff's just falling over in my room. I've got one for Jack because Jack's not here. He's playing basketball instead. He has cited the Chroma Crabs as being more important than the Loose Dads, which is disappointing. He wouldn't be Cheerios. He'd be the supermarket own brand ripoff, multigrain hoops. Because he's playing basketball.
He shoots them.
Yeah, he's shooting the hoops.
Brilliant.
On. Hello to Connor. He's our executive producer. He says Ready Breck is top tier, but he's Lancastrian. So that's, they think that that's the best, but they're
poor judgment,
And also he has declared World War III on you by saying that Yorkshire tea isn't as good as Lancashire tea.
Well, I can't get angry about something that's absolutely as ridiculous as that. On the way, we'll be discussing the big news stories. We're going to look inside the news. We're going to have the big questions of the week. We're going to have parenting, would you rather? But first of all, there's a reason that this show is going to go downhill. And that's because it's a stag do.
Hooray!
So, Sparky, you're getting officially married tomorrow, yeah?
Officially, in the eyes of the law, tomorrow, she's taken the C. And by saying the C, she's taken the coal wrangle. She's becoming Mrs. C tomorrow, guys. Like, it's mad. It's actually, officially getting married tomorrow.
You're doing the proper law bit, and then when's the actual fancy foreign euros?
A week on
pounds?
Friday, a week on Friday in Corfu, which is what we're having as our anniversary ceremony. And I'd just like to have that in many places recorded for next year, in case she decides that the 12th is when I should have got her a present. But
Right.
It's actually, the 21st is the anniversary. This is just doing the legal bit.
There's not a lot romantic about crossing the T's and dotting the I's, is there?
No, and we've really gone. That's it. Like we've gone for the most simple ceremony. We're just going to rock up in a nice. I'm still going to put a suit on, and she's whacking a dress on. She's going to go and sign the paperwork with Jackson tomorrow, and SJ's brother's going to be the witness, and that's it. She's
two very different replies here. One from Connor: congratulations for tomorrow, all the best, many happy years, Sparky. And there's another comment here from a Facebook user that says today is the happiest day of Sparky's life.
Just to clarify, Facebook user is our dear friend Paul from Canada.
It's Canadian Paul. I'm really excited. Like, you're supposed to, oh, it's over, my life's over, and blah. But there's a reason I picked this one, so I'm really excited that we're marrying. Like, I'm really, really ready. Am I supposed to say that in front of the lads, or have I got to do a shot now or something? Like,
that's it. And then you've got to wear like an inflatable penis on your head. That's how it goes. Right, let's have a look inside the news. I mean, the news has been fairly terrible for weeks and weeks. Are we going to tell you something different? No. The average annual grocery bill across Great Britain's forecast to rise by £643 this year. That means shoppers will be paying on average an extra £12 a week for food and other groceries. It's all starting to stack up. We're going to be paying more in the shops. Has anyone noticed those prices rising? I think they've started to do it a little bit already. Haven't they sneaked some of those in?
Guys, don't even get me started. Even my contact lenses have gone up £1 each for each eye, and that's upsetting enough. But just with your day-to-day shop, milk, I've really noticed it with, has really jumped up.
We get our milk delivered because we thought, well, let's help a local farmer with the milk delivery, and they set us a price.
Rich.
And then about every 2 weeks they go, we're going to have to put the price up. And I think it's probably more per weight than gold at the moment.
But you got to support the farmers, Jim. Yeah, and you need it for your Yorkshire tea, of course. But like it is actually noticeable, and with everything going up, like it's just everybody's cost of living has just gone mental. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and that's
the other way they get you.
One of those things that you do is you go, well, we won't go out very much. We'll stay in and we'll maybe make some nice food and stuff. And they can't even do that. It's too expensive.
No, man. Like, what about you, Brad? Like, just because I know, Brad, I just get the idea of if you're a guy that if you want something, you just get it. Like, are you looking at the prices much? Like, do you look closely at prices? Because I'm in there, like, calculating in the supermarket. You just like chuck it in.
Admittedly, when it comes to this household, Shay's the one that keeps the eye on the money. I'm the one that spends it. And she's the one that's very calculated. So, no. However, I have noticed there's a few things. Prices are going up on certain things. But also, which I think we've touched on before, is the shrinkflation where they reduce the amount you're buying, but you're still paying the same value for it.
Yeah.
Which
Can
is
I
just a clever psychological way.
Can I call out Co-op on that? All right. We drink a lot of porridge in this house. Porridge is a big thing. And there is a sort of Co-op own brand porridge that was fine. It cost like £1 and you got quite a lot. Now it costs £1 still. But you're right. The packet is about like smaller than a hula hoops packet. I'm sure it is. Come on. Not right at all.
And also, like, here's the other one. Like, I always remember as a kid, whenever you would have like a packet of crisps, you would always go, a third of it is air for, to protect the crisps from getting crushed or whatever they used to say. Now, Jesus, it's like 2/3 of it is air, and you're lucky if you get like this tiny little dash of crisp at the bottom of the packet.
You ready for this, Brad? I saw a news article this week where it says on average now you just get an 8 Monster Munch a packet. Just 8.
What?
Just 8. Like, is that okay? That is
No
not...
man can live on 8 Monster Munch.
It's just about enough to get you into the flavour. Connor's missus has noticed that cheese has gone up loads. She comments on that every week. Like, you got to mind your dairy. It's definitely your dairy. Cleaning products.
Why are cows so expensive? Right, cows are expensive with the stuff they give out, and then they're farting all over the place and causing climate change. What is it with cows? What have they got against us?
Yeah,
Remember, we spoke about this not too long ago, guys. I think we should start milking people.
Okay, Brad. Okay, you putting yourself forward for that one, are you, mate?
I tell you, I tried.
I got
to
nipples. If you can milk me, you could go for it.
Well, there would be a stag do activity, right?
Hey, I mean, we've all done worse stag do activities, forced stag do activities.
No, we haven't.
Guys, you ready for milking now? If you just each stand up next to them. Oh my God.
Hey, listen, I've said this many times. I've never been to a stag do. So
Well, you're on one tonight, Brad, so you can no longer say that.
Hey!
Right,
can I get the nipple out? No. Oh, okay. Hold on.
Right,
Not
hold
yet.
on. We are
Gotta wait,
broadcasting
gotta wait,
live.
gotta wait.
This is because imagine your first stag do being this kind of half-ass one that it's like an obligation that he's here because he does to do this on a Tuesday night and Jack's not here, so Sparky has to be here. So now, Brad, by default, you're on his stag do, not invited to the wedding, obviously. We're not bitter. We're not.
One of my mates that actually did come on my stag do was his missus was furious. She said, "What? You're invited to his stag do, but not to his wedding? I can't believe you're going to his stag do." I was like, "All right, whoa!" Like, I like the party. It's just I want a party, you know.
The politics of that is just, oh my goodness, it's just too much, isn't it? It really is.
And in the cost of living crisis, the cost of weddings has gone up, and that's why there's a limited number, guys. And I love you all. If I could have you all, I'd have you all. But really, no, I wouldn't. No. 30's enough. 30's enough.
It's always good to be honest.
That's all we ask for. Sparky, have you got a news story?
Yeah, I do. Like we're getting into horror season now. Like Brad, you always strike me as a bit of a sort of like horror dude. Like I bet you like a spiced pumpkin latte and a horror movie.
I do.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie, dude.
You like evolve in October, like into these. Well, have you seen this? There's a new movie out, and this tends to be one like this every year. A news story like this, where cinemas have been. Well, there's been ambulances standing by outside cinemas. People have been throwing up, and sick bags have been handed out on the way in because people have been fainting and freaking out at this new horror movie that's been released.
That is the oldest marketing trick in the world, and it works every single time. It's brilliant.
I could have sworn that's exactly how they described The Exorcist in the 70s.
It's
Wow,
brilliant.
guys. Well, the same thing has happened for movie Terrifier 2, which follows the adventures of Art the Clown, who haunts a teenage girl and her brother on Halloween night. Crazy.
Have you seen Terrifier 1?
I haven't. From what I'm gathering here, you don't need to see Terrifier 1. Let me just, if you are watching the stream now, I'm just going to put a picture of Art the Clown up because he's bloody terrifying, to be fair. It's not enough to make me pass out, but I mean, you wouldn't want that. A little bit scarier than the Scream mask, I would say.
Yeah, it's like an over-exaggerated Scream mask with blood dripping down the head. Okay, it's quite bad. Brad, I mean, I imagine it takes a lot to scare you, right?
Yeah, so I find horror films deathly boring because ever since I was about the age of 6, whenever I used to go visit my cousin, who's like 6 months younger than I am, during school holidays, we would tap into not his dad's porn collection, but his dad's horror collection. And so my uncle would have stuff like Poltergeist 1 and 2, Hellraiser, Jason Goes to Hell. And like
just the box to Hellraiser was terrifying, man. If I remember, it's like
Pinhead. Yeah. You know, with that. Yeah. And I think because I watched that at such a young age, I just find horror films a snooze fest. I
You're
You're
don't know, honestly.
desensitized to it.
I think so, dude. Absolutely. Like even jump scares. Like I find them slightly entertaining, but I'm also like, saw that coming.
See,
Saw
the
that
worst
coming.
place to watch those is in a cinema. Or maybe it's just a cinema in Bradford, but that's where I watched like Paranormal Activity
Oh.
603 or something like that. And I think it would have been quite scary had it not been for the absolute bunch of knobheads all around me. Like people go like laughing and making, and it really takes you out of it. I imagine if I was watching it on my own in my house, or in the cinema on my own or something, it would have been quite scary for me.
I tell you, the one time I got utterly freaked out, right, by something scarish was years ago when I bought a Samsung phone. They were giving away like VR goggles with them.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of my first tap into VR. And so I loaded a horror game. And I tell you what, I don't know what it is, because when you put those VR goggles on, like it tricks your brain to thinking that you're actually in this scenario. And it was in this sort of haunted house where there was like lights flickering, and all of a sudden I'd look in one direction and there was a clown like just staring at me.
No.
And then I turn and then I look away and I look back in that direction, then he's gone. And then I turn and look and he's back and he's staring at me. And then I looked into his eyes, and then he jump scared at me. I tell you what, that I think because like as you're saying, Jim, because I felt my brain felt like I was in it. I was like, whoa. I actually need to stop this. Yeah.
How many bits of crockery on mantelpieces do you think have been broken by people in VR goggles, like jumping?
That's one of my favorite videos to watch online, where someone just runs full pelt into a wall trying to run away. Like, nothing funnier than that. It's like, but you know what I always find with horror films is I love it up until the point you see the ghost or you see the thing that's scaring them. It's like I really felt like that way about Jeepers Creepers. I thought like it was terrifying, the car coming up behind him, like in the van, like, and all of that. And then you saw this like real pathetic sort of like ghost gargoyle thing, and I was like,
do you remember what his reg plate was?
No, I don't. What was it?
Be eating you.
Be eating. Okay. I just remember it being a horror.
Always remember that, dude. I always remember that.
I remember that film though, and that's how I know I'm a little bit scared of horror movies. Because then if I'm ever on a country road on my own and a car comes up quite fast behind me, I'm like, oh god, here we go, Jeepers blooming creepers. I'm out. Like I'm gone. But I don't know. I don't think I'd ever leave a cinema though, because I was too scared, or I'd need an ambulance to be pulled up outside a cinema for me.
So Sparky, are you going around going, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Because my contacts now cost me £1 extra.
No, it's Jeepers Creepers. I can't afford these peepers.
Peepers.
That's the problem.
On the subject of those publicity stunts, though, the marketing things, the same happens, very different genre, for Calendar Girls, the musical. Wherever that goes, there is always a news story in the local paper about how the local council have asked them to change the posters, because all the adverts are like the women from the calendars with like cream cakes over their boobs. And there's always like a complaint that the cakes aren't big enough. So the company have had to increase the size of the cakes to make them decent to be shown. That news story happens everywhere that show tours. And it's absolute nonsense every time.
Hey, send us an advert. I'll be the judge of whether them cakes are covering enough or not. Let me have
you go have a look at that. And Brad can tell us about his news story.
Guys, I'm keeping it clean. I did have a couple of sort of rude ones, and I read them to Shay, and she's like, "No, go for the other one." So this one kind of actually irritated me because it's something I do as a dad, and it's be interesting to see if you guys do. So there is a child psychologist. Oh shit! Sorry, anyway, so basically, his article is parenting expert claims high-fiving kids is disrespectful and we should stop doing it. Right?
Oh, I hate these.
Okay.
I hate.
So
I'm going to get annoyed.
Yeah, his opinion is that by doing that, you should only high five your equals, and it does not teach kids to respect elders.
Oh my God, it's come to the point where we've had so much like outrage and controversy that people can't remember why they're outraged and controversial. And they're having to come up with something for how am I going to be controversial now? Ban high fives for kids? Yeah, why not? Let's do that.
Yeah. When your kid's done something good in life, don't recognize it. Don't no, because you're just building up this sort of misconception about life. No. Like, come on, dude. High five. I love for high five my kids when it's a good moment.
Brad, it sounds like this guy needs a high five round the face,
In the
with
face.
a chair. Chair, mate. Like, what is he chatting about? No, like that's my favorite thing, and like cheeky fist bump as well. I've taught Jackson those two for when you do something cool or he does something that's fun. You know.
Wait until you watch. No, it's not called Baymax. What's the film called? But the character's Baymax. He's like an inflatable robot. Heroes, Hero 6, Big Hero 6, Big Heroes.
There you go. Big
Something
Hero
like
6, Scunthorpe United 0. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, there's a when you watch it when he's older, there will be a thing where you that's it, Big Hero 6, where you fist bump and you go fuddle. Watch, that'll become your thing, dude.
Okay, I'm into it. I'm already into I'm watching that. I'm putting that on my list.
That's the thing. That you say you shouldn't treat kids as equals because they don't learn respect. Is that what the story behind that is? Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's basically saying that by high-fiving your kids when they're young, you're teaching them to believe that they're on an equal level as you as an adult.
They are. Well, they're not on an equal level, but you should let them feel that the rules in the world apply to them the same way as they do to you. Like
I feel awesome giving a high five, and I hope someone else feels just as awesome receiving it or giving a high five. It doesn't matter if I'm 20 something years older than them. What the hell's that got to do with anything?
And also, it gets to the point where you're dropping them off at school where they don't want to give you a hug or a kiss anymore, and a high five is the next best option. And if we didn't have that, what would we have? Just like a firm handshake and see you later? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's what he says in the article. A little tap on the shoulder is what you should be aiming for. Good job. Good job.
That's really
that's not emotive, dude.
Where's the emotion? That's the word. And what's wrong with this guy's inferior complex that he's like, we shouldn't let children think that they're on the same level as us? Or what was the line he used?
By the way, can we just give a moment here for Wend saying what a load of rubbish.
Oh, Wend's in the building, is she?
Wend is in the building.
You've brought your mum on your
Mum's
stag
come on the stag do. Hold on, Mum.
Whoa.
When
you're going to want to just leave in about 5 minutes when we get the truth or dare out, right?
But yeah, and I don't know what I hate these statements, and I'm always happy to get a little bit of advice off a mate or from you guys. We try and give advice on this podcast, but some of these ridiculous things that people come out with, it's like why?
It's like the other one for me, which obviously this is always up for debate. I got no problem with kissing my kids on the lips, but this is a big topical thing where people are like,
then you just don't kiss your kids on the lips. Then, if you've got a problem with it, you go over there and shut up. I'll do what I want.
It's controversial for people who believe that is some kind of sexual act.
Yeah.
That's completely in their head, and it's their problem, isn't it?
Facts, Jim. You're spitting absolute facts there.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It could be anything wrong with loving your child, but that's it. And all of that. This is why these stories are bad. Like what Jim was saying at the start of this. It's like, how can we be controversial? That's what these stories tend to come from. It's like, I need some attention. I'm going to say something stupid, and everyone's going to look at me. Yeah. But when you do it with things as beautiful as being able to give your kid a kiss or a high five, as beautiful as giving your kid a high five, just leave us alone.
Man,
we're doing our thing.
Do your thing. I'll do my thing. Fuck off.
Yeah, basically.
As Al has said, the world's going mad. It is. I think the world's been mad for a very long time, but it's getting even worse.
This is really weird because we tend to say, it's kind of like it's snowflakes and being woke and stuff like that. But actually, this is the opposite. Marshmallows, that's Brad's own version. But this is the opposite. This is someone with a kind of Victorian mindset who's saying, no, don't do that. No, at the best, write your children a strongly worded letter every month.
Congratulating them on
Yes.
their work.
Kids should be seen, not heard.
Yeah, it's that vibe, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that kind of feeling to it. It's absolutely crazy. It really
I
is.
mean, I could never imagine, right? Like my dad was quite affectionate growing up, and I'm affectionate with my kids. I could not imagine not being affectionate towards my kids as much as I can be. Right?
Yeah.
It seems odd. Like
Right.
really weird.
In this world that we keep saying about these days, where everything's just miserable, every time you turn on the news, something's getting worse. You need like a strong example of love and good and joy.
Yeah,
and if you
man.
can't provide that for your kids, or you're trying to disencourage other people to do that for their kids, you are part of the problem. Like you really are.
It's there's nothing better than a cuddle. My son gives the best cuddles, and it's like, I know we've got a limited amount of time for this because he'll not want to do it eventually. But at the moment, I'm taking every single cuddle I can get.
Dude, every morning without fail, Cole will come and sneak into our bed for like a 5-10 minute cuddle before he needs to go get dressed for school, or he's been dressed for school, but he'll just come and cuddle and lie there with me. And you know what? It's amazing. Like just chilling there with that little peace and quiet and just love.
And the fact that anybody in the world would want to just try and put some negativity on a scenario as lovely as that. I don't get it. And like you say, Jim, it's them with the issue.
Yeah.
Your problem, guys. Your problem.
Hey, whoa, this stag do's got pretty.
It's got heavy.
I think we need some shots. All right, line them up, Jim. Get some Jaegers in.
If ever there was a week for Brad to bring a story about a woman who poos in the red aisle or something, I don't know. I can't believe that Shay vets your stories and she lets some of them through that you give us.
No, you know what? Tonight was Tonight was the exception because you know what? I was sitting on the couch looking up news stories, and she turned to me shortly before we jumped on a call earlier, and she said, "So what's your news story for tonight?" So I said, these are my options. And I read the headlines, and she went, yeah. One of them was obviously a woman was astonished when her cat walked in her house with anal beads in its mouth.
It was just eating at chess.
I mean, that's
yeah.
got stag do.
Yeah.
Good.
And then the other one was about how a woman can't keep up with her partner's sex drive, so she bought him a full-size latex sex doll. That was it. So Shay was like, you need to go for the high five story.
Let's leave. Shay does not get a veto anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sacking her. She's gone. She's out. On the way, we're going to be chatting, reading books with your kids. We're going to be answering big questions of the week from Dad's Net members. It's all coming up. It's Loose Dad's front. Dad's Net. It's me. It's Brad. It's Sparky. Jack is not here. He's decided that playing basketball is better than talking to these lads and going on Sparky's stag do. But there you go.
He's with his sports friends. Oh, he's our basketball pals.
At least he's playing with his other favorite set of balls, though.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Hey, do you know what is a really big topic for stag do's? Reading with your kids. Dad's Net has teamed up with Farshawe, and we're running this study on the positive impacts of dads regularly reading with their children. And we've got loads of dads across the country all reading these books from Farshawe with their kids, and just like getting into the routine of doing it and telling us how they're getting on, telling us the highs and the lows, and telling us about some of the books they've been reading. So we're a couple of weeks into it now. How's it going for you, Sparky?
It's gone. It's been an interesting week this week. Like, I really enjoyed the first week of picking all the books. Like, and that's one of the things that we're trying to do with this project is like let kids take the lead on reading and sort of like let them feel like they're in control. Then they'll enjoy it more, which does make perfect sense. So week one we chose all the books, and so he knows like what's on order. And I'm actually quite impressed that when the postman came this week with this week's selection of books, he was expecting a certain Thomas the Tank book that he'd ordered. I think it's like a Halloween Thomas the Tank thing. I don't know. Like, if I remember, like he remembers it better than I do. Anyway, so the Farshawe parcel comes. We open it. I'm like, oh, your new book's here. What's it going to be? What are we going to read? He opens it. It's not the Thomas the Tank book. So he just lobbed it across the room. No, not that one. And I was like, oh, son, this is a bit ungrateful because this is like, we're supposed to be doing a promotion with these guys, it's possible. And he's not playing the game. He wasn't happy. So
I love that even at that age. How old is he now? He's what?
He's pretty, well, he'd be 3 in January. So he's like, two, like in the back end of 2.5. Like he's like going through loads of development. I'm impressed that he remembered what we ordered.
Yeah, even at that age, you've got because what the anticipation of getting something that you've bought online is like. It's like checking outside the door, seeing if the postman's coming. Is it going to be here? Am I going to get it today? At 2 years old, that's impressive that exists. That he's remembered, and that and then also that he was massively annoyed.
It caught me off guard, and the video that I was filming of him hoping that he would open it all excited, and then I've got him on video literally lobbing it across the back room. But anyway, giving kids the choice to read, sometimes they say no. How's it going with you guys?
I love that, dude. I love that. Yeah, it's going well. I mean, my boys, as I've said before, my boys love reading. And we've been reading there's 2 different, obviously, styles of books, because Logan's the older kind of books, and Cole has the younger books, which seems to work more for my mentality.
You enjoy them more.
I like the playful books with the little pictures. Well into it. I mean, I was asking the boys about like what's their favorite part about reading, and they were like, when they finish a chapter and there's suspense and drama. And I thought, holy shit, that's quite an adult way to look at it. Like, we love the suspense and drama, when you finish a chapter and you want to carry on because you need to know what happens next. And I always kind of get bullied into reading another chapter with them. So we have to do rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And if I beat them, then I get to leave and escape.
That's education right there, Brad. That's encouraging your kids to read. Oh, come on.
And if they win, then stick around and read another chapter. So it's going really, really well, dude. Boys love it.
That's part of that nighttime routine, though, isn't it? And as much as you love your kids, and as much as you love reading with your kids, there is nothing better than just walking out the doors, closing them behind them, and then going downstairs and doing your own thing for a little bit.
I mean, Jim, do you have the same thing where, like, throughout the day, you'll be like, yeah, how was your day at school? Fine. What'd you get up to? Stuff. All right, cool. Anything else you want to talk about? Nah. Yeah. All right, good night, kids. You're like, no. You missed your opportunity to converse with me earlier. Yeah. It's bedtime now.
I've been thinking about something. Well, yes. Tell me tomorrow.
Yes.
But also, I get that a lot with the stories, which is why I'm enjoying this sort of, because it's nice. My daughter is very much like now an independent reader. She likes to go off and do it on her own. So it's nice to read with her, because otherwise the next morning at breakfast, you get like this barrage of information about a book. You've got no idea who any of the characters are. And she's just going, oh, and then Barry did this, and then John did this, and then he jumped up and down, but he couldn't go there because he went, and you're like, what? So it's nice to read with her and read together and understand, what's actually happening in the stories, which is quite
rather than just getting how old's Elsa again?
She is nearly 9. She would tell you a month away from being 9.
Okay, she's 9 in her mind. I imagine 9-year-old's take versus the actual story are 2 very, very different accounts, Jim.
Christ, dude. Oh my God. There are times when okay, so it's not necessarily about the books, but when like Logan will have to tell me a story, and like he's gone for like the super, super long edition.
We can edit word economy, son. We can edit this.
Yeah, dude, you're like, give me the cliff notes, dude. What are you doing here? Like, and it's like, and you're like,
yeah.
You could have said this in like 5 words. You now have spanned the whole entire encyclopedia of words out there. I'm surprised you haven't eventually told yourself to keep quiet with the amount of words you've used.
Two sets of people do that, don't they? Though young children and old women generally. When they do like, and then we saw John. John, oh, he's a nice bloke. Yes, he's got a brother called Dave. No, is it Dave? No, it's Gary. Is it
doesn't matter what his name is. Just keep telling the story.
Not relevant. We're talking about John. Doesn't matter what his brother's called.
Isn't it funny when you really start trying to fast forward people when they're talking to you? You're like, okay, where do I scroll along the bottom here?
Worst thing though is when you hear people doing it to you. Like we're trying to, because you're pausing and they're trying to finish your sentence because it's like, I'm boring you now, am I?
I'm boring.
Oh, no.
Right, I'll take myself home.
I'm so sorry. So we'll do more of this next week. We'll keep reading. You can hear all the there'll be videos, there will be kind of written content and stuff as well to find out what our experiences and the experiences of the other dads have been with this reading challenge. It's Farshaw and the Dad's Net teaming up together to get dads reading with their kids. Right, let's do the next thing, which is the big question.
The big question of the week.
The big question of the week.
I'm having to press the buttons myself this week because Jack's not here.
I honestly said this in our WhatsApp group. I'm surprised Jack let you have control of those buttons, Jim. Like, I
He
really
had to,
am.
when we did our geek chat about Married at First Sight,
Oh, yeah,
which is
yeah.
still amazing, by the way. It's just getting better and
Oh,
better.
Juicy.
He had to give me the login and he had to give me control of the buttons. So I have them. Everything's in a funny order. It's not exactly how I would have it. I don't want to, have
move
a go at
something.
Jack.
But move something for next week for him. Like, that'll be just great.
Oh, God, no, yeah.
Ultimate winder.
And he'll go off and play with his basketball friends again, won't he?
Yeah, that's it. He'll leave us
Oh,
alone.
what a go off! Oh, did you ever used to
Yeah.
say that as a kid? Oh, what a go off! You've
Go
got to
off.
play with somebody else. Oh, I'm lonely now.
I can't believe he ditched you on your stag do. Shocking.
Oh,
Go off
So
on the
these
stag.
are big questions of the week. They're from Dadsnet members on the Dadsnet forums on the internet. We anonymize them so you don't know who they're from, but we take the topics and we chat about them and we try and come up with a solution.
sorry, you say they're anonymous. I think in the last one, I went and found every person that wrote those questions in the group, and I said, "Oh, we answered your question in this video." I think I'll stop doing that then.
No, that's all right because they're within the group, so that's okay. If you'd come on the podcast and then go, "Oh, that question last week about the strange itching," that was Darren. He's from then yeah, don't do that.
All right,
Right,
fair
we're
enough.
expecting our third child this week. I got it in the neck last time for not giving her a push present. So I guess I've got to this time. I've no idea what's expected or what other people get. What did you guys buy? Is it just me that's never heard of a push present before?
Oh, dude, honestly, this is for me the weirdest thing. Like, you need to give your partner a present for popping out a kid.
I got mugged off, guys. I got mugged off because SJ's got bougie friends who like play this game too, and I fell into it because of. But she didn't get it till after she pushed Jackson out. But because I felt guilty still after just being in the room, like whilst it was going on, I bought her a Dyson hairdryer, which is the biggest waste of money in my life. Like,
Wow.
yeah, we still moan about it now because she's broken. It didn't last a year. Like, it's supposed to be the best hairdryer in the world. I'm not here to endorse Dyson products. I'm not here to diss them. But I have an situation where mine broke. I rang the customer service. They went, "You must have broke it because these don't break." And so yeah, we're in that standoff.
Oh.
So yeah, and so that was a push present. And yeah.
I love the way that you said you didn't give it to her till afterwards, as if you were like, till she's delivered the goods.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
see. Do you deserve it? You get an A. Yes, you did. You gave me a lovely baby. But
Yeah.
no, it's a nonsense. It's I think just it's again, it's another invitation to buy. Like, oh god, I'm backing myself into a corner here. Like Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of like all of those,
Yeah.
which are great, but also just opportunities to buy, right?
I'm sorry, but I want a squirt day present. I want a day acknowledging the day that my ejaculation sealed the deal. I want a present myself.
This is why I'm glad you're here, Brad, because I was going off on a stupid tangent, sort of like, because yeah, I got it. I don't know if we have a second kid, whether she'll get a second push present. People commenting saying never heard of that, think it's an American thing, and you're saying I want to. What did you call it, please? Sorry if you just repeat that. A splurge present or a
No, a squirt present, a spunk present, whatever you want to call it, dude. Let's find any word.
I can't see those cards in Clinton's anytime soon, but you know.
Yeah, it can do. Hubby or partner, you're the nuts.
uh,
congratulate your ejaculate. Like, I don't know. Is that what
Congratulate
We
your
like that, guys.
ejaculate. There we go.
Oh, I just, yeah.
So, I mean, do you think that you'd have to have a second child so she can get a new hairdryer? What she's been doing?
We did what everybody should do. It is just go and get a 30 quid one from Argos. Like, I don't know why it needs to be that expensive. I still don't. I don't. But if you want to send me another one for free, Dyson, I'll accept it.
How much does a Dyson hair dryer? I mean, I'm assuming a lot of money because everything made
Over
by-
£200, Jim. That's all I'm willing to explain.
I'd rather have wet hair.
And the thing is, it doesn't even hoover your carpet as well as blow dry your hair. I thought it being a Dyson hairdryer, it did all of the freaking fads. But no, it's just a fancy hairdryer. That's all it is.
Well, no. We say no to push presents, though. I don't think that helps this guy. we say not a Dyson hairdryer.
Yeah. Go,
Yeah.
£50 maximum is the thing. Like I would say, but it's a cost of living crisis, so £20 maximum, mate. Like is what I'd say.
Yeah, I don't get it, honestly.
Or not.
No, just the whole thing. It's just I'm dumbfounded by it. It's just as you
Flowers, cake.
It's just another thing. Yeah, it's just another thing to justify expenditure. I just don't get it.
Do you know what it is? And this is the weird thing, like that, and maybe it's in this question too. It's like this weird pressure that comes about sometimes when somebody else's partner, someone's friend got that. You know, their partner,
yeah,
their
Keeping
partner
up
got
with
them
Joneses.
that. Yeah, and you kind of just feel this real obligation because you're like, well, I like to think I'm generous too, and I think you deserve it too. And then you just feel this real obligation to do it, and you're right.
So it's like peer groups and peer pressure, isn't it? I guess that's how kind of these things come about. Do you think that's why gender reveal parties have just gone? Well, the fact they exist in the first place, as we've talked about before, is ridiculous. But they've just gone over the top until people allow like poisoning water supplies because they want to outdo their friends.
That's it.
I mean, or you know what's going to be next is Putin's daughter's going to do a gender reveal, and she's going to attach it to a nuke, and a nuke's going to go off somewhere, and it's going to be a specific color. Hey, it's blue.
It's a pink mushroom cloud. No, I just no. Please not.
I mean,
please not.
Like everyone's just got to try and top someone else, dude. It's getting so ridiculous, man.
Right.
Next question then. Hey dads, thinking of a holiday in England next year with the 18-month-old and the wife. I wondered about Butlins. Reviews aren't the best. Anyone got any recommendations? So where's the best English holiday destination? You went to Centre Parks, didn't you, recently, Brad? Because you're made of money. And it was in the school holidays as well. So happy you're a Millions winner. How was it for you? Would you recommend that?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a little bit expensive when you're there, when you got to take into account like doing all the activities and things like that, and the cost of food. Like when if you were to buy groceries and stuff there, we bought quite a few groceries beforehand. We went to Costco and picked up a few bits and bobs. But yeah, absolutely loved it so much. And we're going back again next month with my folks for a weekend.
Wow.
Which is nice though, because then we get to also fob the kids off on my folks.
Worth every penny. Yeah.
Worth every penny, dude. Yeah. So Centre Parks, I thoroughly enjoyed. Never done anything like that before, and had a really good time.
I went when I was about 10, I think, and we did the swimming. Obviously, that's the big thing, isn't it? But looking back, I don't think we actually did anything else. Well, my parents
it all costs more, Jim.
Exactly. I think my parents were really nice. But the swimming was good. But that's paying hundreds of pounds at the time, I guess, just to go swimming.
I wonder if this place I went to when I was younger, I have really fond memories of it, right? And it was the Welcome at Dawlish Warren. Like we always used to go to Haven and things like that. That was the normal like holiday we'd go on. But this was like an independent run one. It's called like The Welcome in Dawlish Warren. Dawlish is so lovely down like near Cornwall. And that is like a real good memory. Yeah, Dawlish Warren, there it is. Is The Welcome still there? Like, I would recommend there. Like, it's just a family holiday park. You know, they've got bingo in the evening, static caravan to stay in, a swimming pool, you know, all the stuff that you want your kids to just sort of, you know, a lovely evenings of kids clubs and stuff.
I would say the only thing with an 18-month-old in a static caravan is the walls are so thin. And like there's no rest for anyone.
Saying, yeah.
And the seagulls on the roof. Like they sound like they're going to take off with the caravan in their claws. Yeah, okay, all right. I missed the 18-month bit there, Jim. So
my recommendation would be Yorkshire. It's a great place for families.
Jim's on the tourism board.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm hoping they'll give me some money to advertise. Anyway, through Dad's Net or not, up to you. There's a new Welcome to Yorkshire opening, so they could, you know, whatever, just, you know, come to Dad's Net, come to me, whatever. But no, Yorkshire, you've got beautiful countryside of the Dales and the Moors. You've got the seaside, lovely places like Staithes and Whitby and Saltburn as well. You've got cities like Leeds and Bradford, and Sheffield's an exciting city as well. York, the gorgeous historical city of York. So if you're going on a holiday anywhere in England, come to Yorkshire. That's what I say.
Was that an audition? Like,
Yeah,
was that just a voiceover audition?
I've got that written down. Yeah. I actually haven't, you know. I think I'm just so kind of like single-minded. But there's no better place. Everywhere else is rubbish. So that's official.
There you have it.
Hey, I might be coming to do some filming up in Leeds at the end of the month. So
oh wow, we'll have to meet up. I will show you the exciting sights of Leeds.
Nice,
dude,
yeah.
I'll take you to the pub that we used to go to a lot in Leeds. I don't think it's still there. They had a room which was covered in posters of bands and stuff like that, and then someone had put a Peter Andre one up for Mysterious Girl, but someone had scrubbed out the RL on girl and they'd just written a T, so it just said Peter Andre Mysterious Git. One of my
brilliant.
See, that you're not going to get on the tourist board, right? That's not going to be on the official tour of Leeds, but it should be.
No.
The Fenton on Woodhouse Lane. Let's have another question. Hey, Daz, looking for recommendations to replace Sky TV. We don't watch much TV. I think it's too much money. You've got Netflix and Disney Plus. What else should I have? Is there anything else this person needs for the family? They've got kids.
Freeview. Yeah. Just get Freeview. Like, I had Freeview force of hand once. Like, moved into a flat. The cables were broken to get a Sky dish. So we just like, should we just use Freeview in the catch-up services? And we lived 4 years without any problem. If you wanted to watch football, we went to the pub, and that's how it worked. Like, it was really easy. And I was thinking, Jesus, I've been paying 80 quid a month for no reason.
Yeah, I'm constantly surprised about how much people pay for Sky. Like, we're talking about this because we're having building work. There was an aerial inside the loft, which we're having converted. So the builder just took it down. So we had to get another aerial put on top because, annoyingly, I'd have been happy just to have had the catch-up series things and Netflix, but the box that we have for that wouldn't work unless it could tell the time, and it could only tell the time if the aerial was up. So I had a man putting the aerial up, and he was saying, I'm doing like 20 of these a day because people are getting rid of Sky because it's just they're paying like over 100 quid a month for whatever's on Sky, and they just don't watch anything. So they might as well just have Freeview and Netflix, and then that's about it. That's all you need, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the other alternative is if you have a smart TV, then you just use that, connect that to your router, and you don't have to worry about the aerial.
We're not all Centre Park smart TV people.
That's put so delicately there, Jim. Very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose. But I feel like, and this is not a diss on Sky because I was a happy customer of theirs for years, but I feel like what happens is they train people into Series Link and being able to record things, and you get so comfortable doing that, you don't realize that that's what catch-up service is. And you think, no, I better not do that because I might not be able to watch that. And then you go, but you can because it's on 4OD or it's on BBC iPlayer. And then But it's just that those parts of the brain haven't met yet for some people. Like I was having this exact conversation with my brother the other day, my stepbrother, who cancelled his £120 a month Sky bill. I was like, how do you afford that? Like, I think I do all right, and I will not pay £120 a month for Sky TV. No.
And basically, all you need is all four, so you can catch up on Married at First Sight. There's about 7,000 episodes, so you're never going to run out. Perfect.
Yeah, the missus has got ITV Hub. Everyone's winning, you know.
Brian Moore says Amazon Prime for TV Sky way too expensive. I find the films on Amazon Prime to be rather shit.
Well, the free ones, because
the free ones are terrible.
I've got Amazon Prime. Look at all these films I can get. Have that £10, please. What? Like, that's not fair.
I'm not at the cinema. Like,
yeah. I've already paid for it. Why do I need to pay extra? You're just giving me access to a screen where I can pay more money. No, thank you.
We're fast learning, guys. Everything costs more. That's all you just. I feel like that should have been the title of this episode, guys. Everything just costs more these days.
What a depressing way to go into the next break. On the way, we will be playing Parenting Would You Rather. This is Loose Dads from Dad's Nets. Loose Dads from Dad's Nets. This is a show with normally 4 dads. One of us isn't here today. 3 dads chatting about dad stuff. And one of them's on his stag do because he's getting married in the morning. Ding dong, the bells chime, right?
Hey, come on. It's a beautiful night. I'm looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I'm going to marry you. Sorry, I just went from a modern reference, Jim, in case anyone wasn't over 50 listening. Sorry.
Whatever.
Oh, sorry, my mum is still listening, I think. So.
Is she? Wow. We've got some listening hours out of Wendy. Have you sorted out your first dance, by the way? You don't have to tell us because I'm sure you're not going to tell us.
Yeah, but... for the actual wedding, yes. And I'm secretly proud of it because it's a recognizable song. This is all I'll tell you. And what's great is that one of my mates, one of my best mates' little brothers is in a band who are amazing, who I love, and he's got an amazing voice, and he's recorded it for us. So he's re-recorded it for us to do as our first dance. And he's getting to be part of the wedding. And yeah, it's one of those that's an unraveler. Like when I played it to SJ suggesting that we should have it, she was like, "Hold on, what's it? What? Oh, and and that's that. I'm banking on that happening at the first dance. You know, like we start dancing, and everyone's like, "What's this they've chosen? This is a bit. I don't know this. Oh, is that like that's the game I'm going for?
Okay, Agadoo, right?
Well, can that be done in an acoustic tone with the soft tones of Thomas Anderson from Venus de Milo? Maybe.
Well, I'm sure it could if they were going to put it on the soundtrack of Love Island.
Oh, it's got a Love Island vibe to it, Jim, so you will like it.
Oh, okay. I'm fascinated to find out what it is. But yeah, so you're doing the official bit tomorrow. You're doing the fancy bit a week on Friday. Yeah. And this is the stag do. How depressing is that? This is a live stream that we do every Tuesday night, 8:30. Join us on the Dad's Net Facebook page, the Loose Dads Facebook group, the Loose Dads YouTube, and elsewhere as well. But if you don't like live streaming and watching it live, you can listen to it as a podcast. Right, let's play a game. That is the wrong thing. Let's play a game.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's game time!
Oh, it's going so well. Right, this is Parenting Would You Rather for parents, essentially. Right, let's go to Sparky first of all. Would you rather travel the world with your family for a year, 3-star, so not over fancy, but not terrible.
Okay.
Or have £10,000 to spend on what you want?
I'd travel the world for a year, 3-star with my family.
Really, with a 2-year-old?
Yeah, 100%. Like
really?
100%. I would. Like if I could come back and do my job straight after, my job would be safe and all of those things. 100% get me on that plane.
Okay. I mean, you're a radio presenter, so your job's never safe. But...
Yes, a very good point, Jim. But no, right? My friends, one of my friends is doing it right now. Like her and her partner work remotely, and they have gone to Thailand and Vietnam, and they're doing all of those. They're doing their work remotely, and they've got their son is younger than Jackson. He's just 2, and their Instagram blows my mind every day. Like it's amazing.
Digital nomads, is that what they're called?
Sorry?
I was going to say digital nomads. Is that what they're called?
No, I guess they are digital nomads. That's what they are in theory. But yeah, and they're going like their kids eating all different foods, going to the most amazing like you think experiencing your kid going to different toddler groups is getting them to experience things like their kids talking to kids in other languages, and it just looks like they're having the most amazing time. Elson Family Travels. Look at them on Instagram. Like it's my friend Tegan.
What did you always say though, Sparky? What do you say about looking at people on Instagram?
Oh, I know you're
highlight
right.
Reel.
Don't judge your don't judge people's highlight reels on your behind the scenes. Fine, but it does look like they're having a good time.
But it's a good highlight reel, right?
It's a good highlight reel that's going to be worth a few headaches and some screamy flights, definitely. Like for some of the stuff that they're seeing and that boy's seeing under the age of 5.
If you want to get your answer into these questions, by the way, you can do that on the comments of wherever you're watching this on the live stream. If you're listening to this on the audio podcast, I mean, you can still let us know. We'd like to hear your answers anyway. It just won't get an instant shout out. Connor's going to take the 10 grand. He's got a newborn, so that would be awful.
Yeah.
Imagine taking a newborn around the world.
Not
Someone
the
must do
nappies.
it, but you
haven't got the time for all those nappies. Like, every 2 hours on one transatlantic flight. Where are you going to put all those dirty nappies, man? Hell no.
Weigh the plane down. I don't know how that works in terms of the laws of physics, but they're way.
Yeah, it would seem that way, though, for sure.
Right, next question, Brad. Here we go. Would you rather live in a mountain cabin with no human contact, or a tiny studio flat with your family, your extended family?
No human contact.
Really? Just that wasn't. You didn't even think about that.
No. I was trying to. I was just being polite by giving you the option to read the second one there. Yeah. I'll just. You know what? Sometimes I just love, or with the way that life is right now, I would just love a bit of solitude.
Yeah, that'd be nice sometimes, wouldn't it? Just to be able to go.
Yeah. Just to actually have my own thoughts and just be like, oh, I'm not being bombarded with 10,000 comments about Roblox, and I'm not being bombarded by work, and I'm not being bombarded by what shall we do for dinner. I'm not. No, just.
Well, the what should you do for dinner thing would be easy. You have to go out and find a moose, don't you? And that's
and it's sorted for 2 weeks. You don't need to think.
Well, it's all right. You just need to make sure it's a chocolate moose.
All right, okay. Do they roam around in the wild?
They do. Yeah, they're apparently very common in Canada.
Just still need to leave them on the side for a minute to defrost. Just so they get soft enough to get that little wooden spoon in.
There is this sort of romantic image about the cabin in the woods and stuff like that. The singer Bon Iver, before he released his first album, that was the story, that he'd had a breakup and he'd gone to live for a year in a cabin in the woods, and he'd come up with the songs. And it's like, I mean, I think if that album had come out maybe a few years later, in the age of full-on social media, someone would have definitely tracked down the actual real story, which is like he lived in a bedsit in Boston and he worked in McDonald's or something like that. But still, let's have the perfect story. It's like, do you remember the Hives, the band? They did a song called
Love the
Hives.
Hives.
Love the Swedish band, and they were all crazy, and they had this story about how they'd got together because they'd been sent a letter by this mysterious character telling them about their rock and roll destiny. And the NME actually wrote an article trying to debunk that story. And it's like, it's obviously not real. Ruin the fun. Actually, it gave this name, and this name is listed on the songwriters. So actually, I was like, oh, come on.
Chill out, mate. I mean, but the bassist, the coolest bassist you've ever seen from the Hives. Yes. Such a tune, man.
Right, last question then. Would you rather be forced to watch the most embarrassing moments of your teenage years on film, or forced to watch the future footage of you as an elderly man?
Ooh.
that's a real hard one because I can already think in my mind of some embarrassing teenage moments that I wouldn't want to watch back without my spine breaking with the cringe. But maybe as I got older, I appreciate how fun and stupid I was. But like not wanting to know what an old miserable cantankerous bellend I might turn into. Like it's nice to have something to look forward to, isn't it? No one looks.
I mean, I
forward to
don't know what you
being
mean
a
about
bellend.
might turn into.
So right, mate.
Brad, where would you go with that?
I would watch the past. I mean, I've got that like my dad highly documented my childhood growing up, and there are some videos where I'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe what I look like, what I've dressed like, what I mean, I remember there's one where I got to this high school band together, and it was stinking hot in Joburg, and we were in the garage practicing, and I was standing there in nothing but my boxers and my trainers. And my dad just happened to come down with the camera to watch us rehearsing, and there I was, dude. And it's like it's one of those just those god awful moments. You're like, what the hell was I thinking? Like if I started gyrating a little bit with my hips, I'm sure my dick would have just popped out of the boxes at some point, sort of thing,
And your dad would have given you a high five, and
high five, and like, son, well done. Because like, I don't know if I'd want to see what I look like in the future. Like, I'd rather just embrace it when it happens. Like, what if it's like this is just how my brain works. What if it's not a good sight? Like, there's something wrong with me or whatever. I'd rather not know.
It's the slow process of it happening which enables you to deal with it, isn't it? Like growing up,
Yeah.
isn't that?
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Surely, because no one wants to. Well, I'm gonna look like that.
Yeah, exactly. But as the crow's feet grow day by
yeah.
day, you don't really notice it, and eventually it's fine. You grow into that.
That's all right.
Well,
what
about
would
you,
you do,
Jim?
Jim?
Yeah.
Come on,
What
what
would
would
you
you do before you just dip out?
well, I mean, I guess in many ways, because my great age, I'm quite far detached from my teenage years, so it doesn't matter as much. But actually, no, I couldn't. I couldn't watch those again. I'd have to go for the future one, and then just risk that it would risk that it would be all right. Because I can't even imagine what it'd be like for those kids who've grown up in the limelight. They kind of have to do that, don't they? For Justin Bieber, he has to look back and go, "Oh God, I was a knobhead, wasn't I?" And
And then he looks in the mirror and goes, "Oh God, I'm still a knobhead."
So yeah, I think as you say, too much cringing. It would definitely be. So let's
However,
go
though,
forward.
Jim, Connor's made a good point. You could only look back. There's not much forward for you.
Yeah, I'd like to look at my future footage. Well, we'll have to go 3 weeks then.
And I'd love to go back because the old mind's not what it used to be. I can't even remember what I was like when I was 13. Sorry, Jim. Sorry.
So there you go. Anyway, make sure you listen to us on wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you watch our live stream. It's a Tuesday night, 8:30, Facebook page of Dadsnet, Facebook group of Loose Dads, and the Loose Dads YouTube, and there's a few other places as well. Do both. Leave reviews for us. Tell people how amazing you think we are. Even if you don't really believe it, just do it. It'd be a kind thing to do. And make sure that you tell a friend definitely to listen. And thank you very much. So cheers to Brad.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been awesome.
Cheers to Sparky.
Cheers, Jim.
Sparky, thanks for letting me be a part of your stag do.
Thanks, guys, for an amazing stag, and to everyone listening. Thanks so much. Drink this in, guys. It's the last time you'll ever see Bachelor Sparky. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh.
Off the market, ladies. I know there might not be any ladies listening, but it's fine. I understand that there will be people crying into their pillows tonight, and that's fine.
It'll be like when Take That split up and they had to have the hotline. Then it'd be like the Sparky's Getting Married hotline.
Hold on. Oh yeah, no, it's been disconnected. Yeah, it's not engaged. It's definitely not engaged.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back next week.
Loose Dads, a Dadsnet original podcast.